I'm Dan Couric, and I'm running for St. Lucie County Commission, District 2. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been around this county for a long time. I actually moved to Florida in 1971, and I've lived in St. Lucie County since '72. A lot of you might probably know me from when I was Assistant County Administrator. When I did the budget, and I did a number of things, I was actually Finance Director for a while. Also, a lot of you will know me because I ran the credit union, St. Lucie Community Credit Union, for the better part of 11 years. So there's a lot of people who know who I am, which is a good thing. What you have to realize is that the County Commission is in a position right now that is so important. We have so many things we have to do. Now that we have a port, we've got an airport that's ready to be working. It's so important. But you know, that's not all there is to a county commission. Since I worked here for the better part of 16 years, I know all the departments. I know a lot of the people in the departments. And that's what makes me a good candidate, or I should say best candidate for this election. You got to remember, it's so important that we elect people that understand government, understand finance, understand comprehensive plan, understand everything there is about capital improvements. Well, since the federal government seems like the ultimate power in taking care of this, we're going to have to work not only with the state government, but have to work with the federal government. It's going to be very important. This is going to take a concerted effort not only for the county commission, but also for the city council of both cities and the other counties, especially south of us, for Martin County. Those commissioners and all the council people in different cities in Martin County, we have to work together in order to make sure that the state and the federal government does the proper things to mitigate the problems with the amount of algae coming out of the lake and move it in the right direction as it was intended to do many years ago. This is a difficult question because I understand the stress that this is giving people of having trains going by every 20 minutes, or whatever number about that it is. However, this is also private property. The tracks and the property of it is private property. If you refuse to have an owner of property to do what it was intended for, it's a form of almost like seizure under eminent domain. So we have to consider the fact that legally it's going to be difficult to stop it. On the other hand, there is also questions about what it's going to take to make sure that every intersection is safe. As under the current law, the way it works is that the county commissions of every county is required to make the improvements on these intersections. And I can think of a couple intersections just off the top of my head that barely have gates coming down, much less anything beyond that. So it's going to take, if they decide to go forward, if that's what happens, or it gets halted for some reason or other, then we just got to make sure that the intersections are safe, and so that the people will be educated as to not stepping out in front of the train. Well, I don't think there's any single issue, but I think the biggest issue right now is what's going to be corrected by the half-cent sales tax. If the half-cent sales tax passes, that will provide the monies to fix the roads, to repave the roads, to fix all the potholes in this county. We have bridges that are over 50 years old. And by the way, most bridges have a lifespan of 50 years. So we've got to do something about this. And that's probably one thing. The other is development of the port. which will create jobs. And the other element is we need to bring industry, clean industry, to this county so that we can bring up the lifestyle of the people living here, because we have too many people driving south. We have too many people driving north. It'd be better if they were all staying here and working and living here. That's not going to be done overnight. And again, it's going to take cooperation of the cities and the other counties, because this is a Treasure Coast element that has to be taken care of by a concerted effort of all the entities. Well, I was here when we established impact fees, which the whole purpose of impact fees is to provide infrastructure for the new cars on the roads, schools that were needed for children, fire stations needed for the fire board. I believe there's even an element there was for parks. However, the impact fees that are now in place, I believe they need to be readdressed. When a person comes in and does a development, proposes a development, whether it be a PUD or whatever organization they want to do it under, there are several, they are required to put in sewer, water, roads, curb and gutter if necessary. And so the impact within that development is not as much as bad as it was years ago. When I was working here, people were building houses on gravel roads and expected the county to go out and just pave the road because they had a house there. Well, this doesn't happen anymore. And so the complaint that I keep hearing is that the impact fees are too high. And when it's you might say an existing area where it's already been built up, they're wondering why they have to pay impact fees. And it's a good question. So I'm Dan Couric, and I'm running for County Commission District 2. I am a known leader. I think it's important that we realize that the county commissioner, even though he is one of 5, he has to be able to have leadership qualities. If you go to my website, which is Couric for St. Lucie, you will find out that I have been a leader since I was 15 years old. I lived on a farm on my father and mother's farm. When I was 15 years old, I had 15 to 20 people working for me at that age. I have been a manager my entire life. I was a teacher. I worked at what now is Natalie's Orange Juice, used to be a bakery. I started there as accounts payable and ended up as office manager. And then I moved into government. And it's important that we have leadership qualities, be able to sit in front of a camera like I am right now and speak and sound coherent. I wish you would all visit my website. There's things about me that are there, my leadership, and if you'd like to, you can donate money to my campaign. So, I am having, I hate to say this, but I'm having a good time doing the campaign because I am meeting so many people and I'm finding out what they really are worried about, and it's so important. We need to remember who we work for. We work for the citizens of this county, not the Democrats, not the Republicans. We work for the people of this county. Very good, thank you very much. Remember, I'm Dan Couric, and I'm running for County Commission for District 2.